Ever heard of a race to save your life? Well, in the Ottoman Empire, they had a weird way of dealing with executions. If you were sentenced to death, you had a chance of escaping it by beating the palace's head gardener in a foot race. That's right, a race for your life. So lace up your shoes because today we conquer history by exploring the Ottoman Empire's deadly foot race. So let's picture the Ottomans. They were truly masters of the bizarre, especially with their executions. Beheadings and strangulations are just the beginning in this list of their dark deeds. During it all, a standout moment took center stage. A killer foot race where life and death were decided with each sprint. The eerie nature of the Ottomans' crazy capital punishment methods comes from Mehmed II and the law of fratricide. Basically, a law that allows anyone who takes the throne to kill their brothers. Yeah, pretty brutal. As time went on, the Ottomans swapped out fratricide for something arguably crueler: imprisoning unwanted siblings within the walls of the Topkapi Palace, which was far from luxurious as the name might suggest. Inside the palace lay the Imperial Gate, decorated on either side with decapitated heads of criminals and other severed body parts, a reminder of how ruthless this empire really was. Imagine being caged up for most of your life with that view in plain sight. Capital punishment was displayed for all to see at the Fountain of Execution, at the heart of the palace's first court, within the Imperial Gate. The fountain served as a symbol of the Sultan's power over life and death. After each, let's call it, performance, the chief executioner would cleanse their hands at the fountain and continue with more beheadings and strangulations. Just another Tuesday in ancient Turkey for these men. So who was the executioner? The head gardener. Yeah, you heard that right. Not only did they have to tend to their floral duties, but they were responsible for carrying out executions. Red skull caps, breeches, and remarkable physiques. These guys were no joke. Usually, it would be strangulation or decapitation for top officials on death row. But towards the end of the Sultan's rule, execution wasn't the end-all. Believe it or not, they had a one-of-a-kind custom foot race between the head gardener and the condemned official. And to be honest, gardener wasn't quite a generous title for them. They had major responsibilities, such as protecting and guarding a large part of the Sultan's palace. Essentially, they were the muscle. They did the dirty work the Sultan required of them. And a lot of this work included executing officials. So yeah, even generous is an understatement. So here's how it all went down. For most top officials, if you were condemned, that was the end for you. But if you were the Grand Vizier, you had a chance to escape with your life. The Grand Vizier would be handed a cup of sherbet. If it was white, then the Sultan would grant them mercy. However, if it was red, you'd immediately have to start your sprint, racing about 300 yards from the top of the palace, through the gardens and down to the fish market gate on the palace's southern side. Crazy, right? Imagine the panic, the desperation of that sprint. Truly a race against death itself. Now, here's the final twist in the tale. If you managed to beat the head gardener to the fish market gate, your death sentence would turn into mere banishment. Much kinder than being strangled, don't you think? If you arrived with the head gardener waiting for you, it was game over. Instant execution and your body thrown into the sea. Now, you'd think that it wouldn't be too hard to beat a gardener in a race, but these men were usually younger, stronger, and a lot more athletic. Not to mention, they also knew the race route better than most, and may even have cheated at times. Consider Zulfikar, the head gardener during Mehmed IV's reign. He was said to have executed roughly 5,000 individuals in his 5-year career. That's almost 3 people every single day. He caught up and committed many of his executions right next to the very gardens he cared for, leading to rumors that he would conveniently take a shortcut through these gardens to reach his targets. So not only were you running for your life, but you may have had to cover more ground. Not a pretty situation to find yourself in. Moving along, you might ask, did anyone actually win the race? Well, according to historical reports, the last guy to save himself was Grand Vizier Hassi Sile Pasha in 1822. Not only did he survive, but he was hailed for his victory, even earning a promotion to become the governor general in his province. Not bad for someone who was seconds away from their end. But that was the end for the race and the Ottoman Empire too. By the end of the 19th century, the empire was on its last legs, losing countless territories such as Greece, Romania, Serbia, and Bulgaria, and influence all around Europe. Come World War I, they furthered their decline by joining the losing side of the Central Powers. The Turkish state did make a comeback in the 1920s under Kemal Ataturk, but they wanted nothing to do with the old ways, westernizing the country and abolishing policies and values that rose with the Ottoman Empire. In a glimpse into the Ottoman Empire, we've uncovered a bizarre custom straight out of a horror story. Gardeners, typically tenders of blooms, racing and executing high-ranking officials whose fate rested on the color of the sherbet they were offered and how fast their feet moved. A chilling revelation that would keep even the quickest on their toes, and not one for the faint-hearted. This has been Conquering History. See you soon.